Hopefully it won't bump me off. Good morning, Kristin.
Everybody. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm great.
Hi, this is Kristin Savory with Coyote Yoga Boulder, and I'm sitting here with Michelle Anderson, who is now teaching for us.
Yay.
Yay! And I thought it would be sweet just to have a few minutes with Michelle and kind of introduce you to the community and find out a little bit more about you.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So, Michelle, I'm curious to hear a little bit more about your story. What first brought you to the Coyote Yoga method?
I would say I was lucky enough to see a flyer that said therapeutic yoga with Brazilian yogi Francisco Coyote. And I had been practicing and teaching for a while. That was probably 2010 or so. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to that. I had been studying yoga for a while and also seeking out therapeutic methods. I was kind of looking at the medical yoga offered in India by the Iyengar yoga people, and had studied some with Matt Sanford in his adaptive yoga, and had done some kind of cancer specific yoga teacher trainings. And I just happened to see that flyer. And so I was kind of lucky in the right place at the right time.
Oh, wow. So you were kind of open to the idea. You saw this flyer. Then you went to one of his classes. And as you gained experience in the method, what did you notice that kind of came up for you?
Yeah, so I was just going to go to one session, and I ended up signing up for, the whole weekend, all 3 or 4 sessions. And the very first Sukhasana, the very first forward flexion, because I was really stiff in ways that I didn't even realize. Yeah, so it was like the very first Sukhasana felt really different. I felt my breathing change. I felt the relief of not doing active, kind of fitness oriented yoga. And it felt immediately to me more like what I'd read of the idea of yoga in the Yoga Sutras. And I think I even said that to Francisco, maybe not that weekend, but later on, Francisco, your yoga feels much closer to me, much closer to the yoga of Patanjali that I've read about.
Mm.
And he said, that would be incredible if that was true, or something like that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And at that time, what were you going through, and what were you, you don't, without getting too personal or anything, whatever you feel comfortable sharing with us, what were you bringing to the practice or bringing to the mat?
Yes, at that time I was bringing a very anxious, nervous, kind of traumatized nervous system, and it was operating in me in ways I didn't even realize at the time. Although I did realize it on some level because I'd been seeking the yoga practice. I'd always known that was going to be good medicine for me from the age of 20. And that's when I started practicing yoga. And it was because I was trying to recover from an eating disorder. So I had a history of insomnia, depression, anxiety, anorexia, and then that was all like in my childhood. And when I was 18, I had a fairly traumatic car accident, which led to head trauma, more anxiety, more insomnia, lots and lots of shoulder injuries, until when I was able to ignore it for a long time until I wasn't anymore.
Mm.
So I brought a nervous system to the mat that really needed the work, and so really resonated with it. And so I had, like, literally in that first Sukhasana, a change.
Yeah, tell me more about that. So you felt a change, and I'm curious to hear over time, you know, maybe some of the marked improvements that maybe even you might have expected, and then what were some of the unexpected pieces that kind of came through over time for you?
Yeah, that's super cool. I definitely expected to calm down and to have less neck and shoulder and arm pain. And that is continuing to happen. But yeah, the unexpected stuff was that my mood improved. And, I think I would call up friends every now and be like, I feel like I'm just like tripping all the time and I'm just so happy. And it's like the lights went on in the world. And and I felt better everywhere, like not just my neck, but I noticed that my knees didn't hurt anymore and my lower back didn't hurt. I used to go to the chiropractor twice a week sometimes when I was doing really hardcore poses. And I just thought that was part of it, that was something that would eventually go away. But it only kept getting worse. Um, yeah, so my SI joints, my back pain went away. My mood was better. I found myself with better coping skills and
Mhm.
started untangling changes in my diet and
Mhm.
addiction patterns. And yes, everything in my life just started getting better and better. I started
Mm.
cultivating better relationships and found that I wanted to become a better listener, to my friends, and I wanted to be a better a better relationship person, a better person in relationships.
Yeah, that one is really curious to me. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that because I think so many times people come to yoga for themselves,
Yeah,
which is a great access point.
right. Pain will take you there for sure.
Yeah, and this piece for you, though, around your relationships, I'd like to hear more about that.
I think it even comes down to I became more aware of the signals I was projecting in the world to the people around me. And I even noticed it in nature and with animals and total strangers that
Mm.
we're participating in nonverbal communication all the time. We're participating in thought waves all the time.
Mhm.
And I think probably like most people, when we come and we practice, we realize that we are not kind to ourselves.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've always been my worst harsh critic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that is such a big piece of Kayut Yoga, the approach that we've been taught to really practice with kindness as a foundation.
Yeah, kindness to ourselves. And I'm really grateful to the to what I've seen in Kite Yoga because everyone has embraced me like family,
Mm.
like brother and sister. Like,
Mm.
yeah, it just feels like family.
Mhm.
I've always felt really supported in those moments when I was being my worst harsh critic and just all torn up inside with physical pain and with emotional pain and crying and being really real, and not being my experience with that kind of in my past was that if you showed that kind of pain, people would leave you. You would
Mhm.
be ostracized because of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So we develop a real strength to witness each other in a non-judgmental, um, not even trying to fix it place. We just are there present. So
Mhm.
that is what I'm trying to do more in my relationships is be more present and with my
Beautiful.
students as well, of course.
Beautiful. Yeah, and your students. What type of student? What type of student do you enjoy working with?
Ordinary people, regular people. Yeah. People who want to start getting better in themselves. People who have had a history, and we all have, of trauma, of addictive and food issues, that kind of thing. During this whole COVID time, I have actually stopped drinking alcohol. It's been
Mm.
7 months since as of Thanksgiving Day. No booze.
Good for
That's
you.
pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, so I like working with people who have those things, and we don't even have language in our culture where it's polite to talk about a lot of the things that what we experience on the mat. Many of us are plagued with bad memories of medical trauma, of trauma from old yoga classes. I like to work with the athletic community, and also people who have yoga practices from other traditions, other lineages, other styles, and people who've practiced with me in town over the last couple of decades. And I understand that feeling of loss. That if you let go of something, if you've recognized it's hurting you, um, like food, like alcohol, like whatever, exercise. I realize that if you feel like you're going to miss that, what you have an empty place, and we can help show people that feeling good is its own reward, and it
Mm,
creates pathways in the brain to feeling good and pleasure and accomplishment and fulfillment and satisfaction, contentment, all things from the Yoga Sutras actually, that we don't even have existing in our brains yet.
that's beautiful. What an
It's
opportunity. What an opportunity.
evolutionary, Kristen. It's totally evolutionary.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet Michelle, it's so lovely to have this time to just sit with you a little bit. Remind me, what days are you teaching at Coyote Yoga Boulder? Just so that people can find you.
Yeah, Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then we're archiving those classes as well, so you can watch them on the Zoom.
On the Zoom.
On the Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great to have you with us on our team, Michelle. It's really lovely.
It's an honor. It's a privilege. I'm so happy. We
Great.
could not have planned this, right?
You could not have. No, this is great. Good. Beautiful, Michelle. Have a lovely day. For all of you who are wanting to try Coyote Yoga, maybe bring a little bit more of this sweetness into your life that Michelle was talking about, you can find our schedule at www.coyoteyogaboulder.com. You can give us a shout. We're happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks for listening and have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kristen.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.